We'll for some reason now it won't let me go live on my Twitter account.
Really?
So,
Huh. Patrick was
that's
telling me too
stupid.
how I think, are we live? Are we live right now, by the way?
Oh, yeah, we're live right now.
Oh, okay. Well,
Hmm.
ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, welcome to another edition of the Coast to Coast podcast. I am your co-host Beyond 716, here as always with Little 2K. And everyone, we have arrived at the day, the moment of truth. We have arrived at the final 53, made official yesterday by Brandon Bean and the organization. So we're going to get right into that and some other topics as well. And Whittle, good evening. How are you today?
I'm doing great. First and foremost, uh, happy birthday to the uh, the good woman behind myself. Shout out to you. Today's her birthday. Um, yeah,
Happy
and I've been at
birthday.
work like I was at work like all day today. I'm a terrible person because I didn't tell her happy birthday this morning, and I got bogged down with work and all that other stuff. So I did
Hmm.
tell her when I got in, but you know I screwed up. So, but anyway,
Don't be
here
so
we
hard on
are.
yourself, Little. You're doing your thing.
Yeah,
I know
nah,
you
man,
are. So
I gotta, I gotta fix that. You know, that was a James Cook drop. Um, that was a James Cook drop
or
on the way to the end zone in Philly.
oh,
That's what that was.
oh,
Yeah, it was
oh
bad.
man.
But I wanted to talk about a little bit about the 53 man roster. I am so if we would have had this conversation yesterday, if we would have had this podcast yesterday, my demeanor would be totally different because there were certain players on the team that yeah, I just didn't want to see get cut. Like that was just
Hmm.
certain guys that I expected. So real quick to run down um I the guys that got cut that I thought would at least um we'll talk about the ones that I didn't think would be cut.
Hmm.
Number one, first and foremost was Daquan Hardy. I was so surprised he actually
Hmm.
got cut. That was foreign to me. I couldn't believe it. And yeah, I was pissed off at Brandon Bean for that. That really made me mad. The second one was Kingsley Jonathan. Definitely
Hmm.
did not expect Kingsley Jonathan to get cut. Um, I had hoped that he would make the team because I thought that he deserved it. I thought they think he plays well. I think he brings that pass rush juice, and maybe they just don't want to have to split reps with Solomon right now, so they'll just kick Kingsley Jonathan in onto the practice squad. Luckily enough, the guys that I'm talking about, we were able to get back on the practice squad. The third guy was Tyrell Shavers. Um,
Hmm.
I thought for sure Tyrell did enough to make the roster. I thought he was good. I thought he ran solid routes. I thought he showed good. I thought his hands were solid enough to make it at the back end of the roster. Also, he does a ton of work on special teams that you know. I felt like was necessary for this team. We would definitely be able to utilize him, even if it wasn't for anything other than blocking. 6'6", 200 plus, he can definitely do that.
Hmm.
And Kendall Williamson. No, no, I'm sorry. I knew Kendall Williams was getting cut. Kareem Jackson. I thought Kareem Jackson would make the roster. I really did. Um, because of the lack of veteran leadership in the safety room. I mean, Rap's been here. Rap's been around the league. I think Rap's in his fifth year. I think he's in his fifth or sixth season in the league now.
Hmm.
Hamlin's going into his fourth year. So I thought to myself, I said, you know what? Maybe they keep Williamson around. Maybe they put Hamlin on the IR, the short term IR. They bring him back, in 4 weeks or whatever. Uh, but no, it didn't happen. Um, and then who was the other guy? Oh, Deion Jones. I
Hmm.
really feel like that last game sunk Deion Jones. Like he looked out of it, and
Hmm.
I figured he would. I thought he would make the squad, but I was mistaken. Both all those guys got cut. Those were the surprise cuts for me. Um, I don't know. How about you? Did you feel like any of those guys were locks onto the roster?
Lock may be a strong word, but I felt very strongly about Tyrell Shavers, like you did Whittle. I guess I'm a little surprised that we only kept 5 wide receivers. I mean, just maybe part of that is considering all the talk that we've had since Stephon Diggs was traded about the wide receiver room. And I want to get your thoughts on that a little bit too. Is this going to lead to a possible deal for Bean? But we'll get to that a little bit later. But I agree with you about Kingsley Jonathan. I thought he did enough to win the job. And I think that was the thing that surprised me the most. Um, and that's what we talk about a lot, right? What a like we're going to get into Buffalo Joe, but he won that job. I mean, despite the fact that Milano opened the door for him, he went out and took that job, right? And I thought
100%.
Hardy won the job. I thought Kingsley Jonathan won a job, and maybe this just speaks to just this roster, Whittle, right? The depth that we do have across the board. We have, I mean, look at our practice squad. Guys like KJ Hamler. I mean, Frank Gore Jr. had a great preseason, right? Frank Gore Jr.
Yep.
Any other year with this team in the last 6 years, Frank Gore Jr.'s is on the 53, right? But we're just so deep at,
Right.
at running back that I think it just speaks to, yes, did we lose a guy like Diggs? Yes, but just look at the depth that we brought in is just so noticeable. And I think when you look at some of these surprise players that didn't make the 53, I mean, they're still on the doorstep. I mean, hopefully we won't need a lot of these players this year. That means we're healthy. That's the
Right.
optimal solution. But that was my first thought going into it. Shavers was probably the most disappointing for me because I really thought he did enough to win it.
Um. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody. The only ones that got cut that bothered me was Hardy and Kingsley Jonathan. Like I could understand. Like you could sell me on why the other guys got cut. Like okay, fine, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those two guys. I'm sorry. Like that for me. Um, I don't know. I thought those guys did enough. But we were able to get all those guys back on the practice squad. They did designate two players for to the IR with
Mm-hmm.
as they have two guys they can essentially bring back. I think it's two. It might be four, but I believe it's two. Um, so Matt Milano was one of them, which is really good because the timeline says Matt Milano should be back to playing football by December. We have to hope that that's the case, right? Um, Darrington Evans was the other one.
Mm.
Now, I thought Darrington Evans would be a very good addition to this roster. Finally, um, Brandon Bean has listened to me
Mm.
in one way. He did keep Darrington Evans, put Darrington Evans on the IR. So I guess whenever he comes back from his injury, we'll have him as a returner slash running back slash special teams guy. Listen, the swing pass to the running back coming out the backfield, matched up against a linebacker, that was elite for us last year. That was an elite play. I think we carry that on this year. And
Mhm.
what better way to utilize that by getting a guy out there that has legit breakaway speed? If you miss, if they're one on one with Darrington Evans in space and he makes you miss, it's a
Mhm.
house call. And I think that's what they want to do. They want to make things a little bit easier on Josh. So if Josh can
Agree.
throw a touchdown on a 5 yard, 3 to 5 yard swing pass to a running back who does the rest of the work, sure, let's do it.
Absolutely.
But I'm wearing my "In Being We Trust" shirt because uh, I made a very I had some choice words for Brandon Beane and Coach McDermott. Um, I didn't believe, I didn't trust them. Uh, and I'm man enough to admit that I made that mistake. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Matt. My bad.
No worries.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I have a couple questions to pose for you, and this is what I've been waiting
There we
for
go.
because I'm
Okay.
waiting for this
Well, let me get
reaction right
this.
here.
Let me
Oh,
get this
sure,
one
go
out. Let
ahead.
me get this
My
out. So
absolutely.
I had to apologize publicly because the disrespect was public. So I apologize publicly to Coach McDermott and to Brandon Beane. Um, because Brandon Beane cut Kingsley Jonathan and he cut Daquan Hart. And he got both of those guys back onto the practice squad. And it turns out Kingsley Jonathan is an international player, and his practice squad spot is protected. He cannot be claimed by another team. He cannot be poached. And we can still bring him up 3 times, and it doesn't count against the number of players that we have on the practice squad. So essentially, Bean just gave us an extra roster spot for a guy who we really wanted to keep, who we're actually going to keep.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a masterful job. A masterful job. And we made a trade to get what's his name? Brandon Codrington? A
Yeah, Codrington from the Jets, right?
Codrington, yeah, from the Jets. We got a returner from the Jets. Now, Daquan Hardy was very good at it. And this kid's good too. I watched a couple of his kickoff returns, and there's some real juice there.
Mm-hmm.
So don't apologize, McDermott. No, I have to apologize, McDermott, as well. Um, I don't know if you know this, but last year the defense finished uh, in total yards. I think we were third in total yards allowed. I think we were. No, I think we were. What were we, eighth in total yards allowed, something like that. I think we were third in points per game allowed, and we were like 12th in like overall, like DVOA. So uh, with Matt Milano, Trey White, and Daquan Jones out for the majority of the season, not to mention Rasul Douglas coming in, learning the playbook. We had to play Dane Jackson because they love pit players, I guess. Um, and then Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, with their coverage issues or taking a step back, he managed to get gold out of that defense last year. So I got to give McDermott his props. He's one of the best coaches in the league, whether we appreciate him or not. We're gonna miss him if he's gone, and we're gonna talk crazy while he's here. But
Mm-hmm.
another surprise cut, Gable Stevenson. I was
Mm-hmm.
surprised to see them cut him and not bring him back to the practice squad. That was
That was surprising. I agree with him.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So
Yep.
yeah.
I had a question for you about the international exemption. I thought that was just for Travis Clayton, who we
No, they
took
put
in the
Travis Clayton
seventh
on the
round.
IR. They put him on the IR.
Okay,
So
okay,
his
that's it.
season's
That's where I
done.
got
Yeah.
confused. I see.
Hmm.
Okay, so
So
that's how
his
they did that
season's
because I was
finished. He was
I was wondering if there was
Yeah,
a
he wasn't going to
draft
play
one
this
and a
year anyway.
practice one. Gotcha.
Yeah, but
Okay.
he wasn't going to play this year anyway. So They put him on IR. It's over. His season's done. He'll just continue to work and learn, and hopefully, next year he'll be in a better position to make the roster. And yeah, now Kingsley Jonathan takes that international. That was listen. It's chess, not checkers, man. This dude, Brandon Bean, is
Yeah.
sharp. I'm
Yes,
telling
he
you, he's sharp as
is.
a thumbtack. He does not play. But yeah.
Listen,
So, what was the question you had for me?
oh well, we had a couple questions from our awesome participants in the group chat that this day I've been waiting for a reaction for. But yes, ladies and gentlemen. So, what about the Bills not bringing back Justin Shorter?
Listen. So, I I don't mind. I like being right,
Mhm.
but in this situation, I was so upset about being right because there's a list of individuals who were drafted at the wide receiver position after Justin Shorter. I posted about this. I'm trying to pull that list up now because I'm here we go.
One word: pain.
So we should run off some of these names real quick. Has anybody heard of Dontavian Wicks? Because I have. He's playing very
Oh, I
well for the
have.
Packers. He was
Mhm.
picked after Justin Shorter. Anybody know a Puka Nakua? Puka Nakua was picked 27 spots after Justin Shorter. Parker Washington, slot receiver, Jacksonville
Mhm.
Jaguars out of Penn State.
Yep.
He was picked 35 spots after Justin Shorter. Trey
Mhm.
Palmer. And some of the Bills fans may recognize Trey Palmer because he played pretty well against us last year. And
Mhm.
he had some big touchdowns too last year, like Trey Palmer, Nebraska, real legit speed. Um, put him in the slot, you can put him outside. Like he's a legit, 4-3, sub 4-4 guy. Um, he was taken after Justin Shorter. A.T. Perry out of Wake Forest. He was taken after Justin Shorter. He's currently playing very well for the Saints. He had a very good preseason. He's probably going to end up starting as their ex out there. Um,
Mhm.
Xavier Hutchinson from Iowa State. I was very high on him. Most of these guys I was
Mhm.
high on, like Parker Washington, Puka Nakua.
Yep.
I didn't know. I really cared to. I didn't really think too highly of Dontavian Wicks. I thought he was a little too slow. Trey
Mhm.
Palmer, A.T. Perry. I was extremely high on these guys. Andre Yoshivas plays for the Bengals right now. Princeton grad, a
Princeton.
Princeton
Mhm.
alum. Jersey stand up, 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3", legit sub 4-4. I think it was right around 4-4. It's legit speed, big body receiver, can win down the field. And he went to Princeton, like he's smart. Demario Douglas. We Buffalo Bills fans, you should know exactly who that is because he torched us last year. Really, correction, he torched Dorian Williams,
Mhm.
and it was
Yeah.
ugly.
Mhm.
He torched that guy. Ronnie Bell, who really hasn't done anything. I mean, there were some other guys too. Like none of these guys have really done much, but Ronnie Bell was another guy that I thought could play at this level. So those are the notable names. But I ran through like seven of them, and
Mhm.
it's wild to me that we took Justin Shorter where we took him. He was god awful at Florida. I'm sorry, he was. Um, I never saw the re. We also passed on Bryce Ford Wheaton, who made the 53-man
Mhm.
roster with the New York Giants.
Yes, he
So
did.
yeah, we passed on a 6'4", 225 pound, 230 pound man who runs a sub 4.40. Makes a lot of sense. 30 plus inch, like 38, 39 inch vertical. Yeah, that
Mhm.
made all the sense in the world. Anyway, yeah.
Yep.
So the Justin Shorter experiment is over with. Thank God. Um, I wish him the best in his next career. Maybe he's going to
Hmm.
be some sort of a model, or I don't know what he went to school for, but
Well, he is
um,
from South Brunswick, Whittle. Middlesex County represent. So they,
Jesus. I
that's
hope I
that's
don't.
that's.
I hope
I
he doesn't
remember him at
watch this
Penn State.
podcast. I
Uh,
hope he doesn't watch this podcast
well,
because
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't see it, and
yeah.
I don't know
Hmm.
what they saw, but I
Yeah.
didn't see it.
I
So,
mean, he was highly recruited. Yeah, he was highly regarded at high
oh
school, and he was,
yeah,
and maybe
yep.
sometimes that sticks with GMs, and they, right, just that raw talent. Maybe I could extract that from that player, and I think that's why they took the chance when they shouldn't have. But I agree with you 100%. We had one more for you, and I think I kind of know the answer, but I want you this we had here. How do you explain MVS making the team over Shavers? Is it just the skill set of what he brings versus Shavers, or we're not buying that? Is it the postseason pedigree?
I mean, if that's the case, then stash him. I mean, you carry six and just leave him without a jersey until you get to the playoffs because
Mm-hmm.
he's he. I mean, outside of that 1 year in Kansas City, he's like super mid in the regular season. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it. I think it's the contract. I think it's the fact that they paid him and they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get something out of that money they gave him.
Yep.
That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, as far as winning down the field, he is a proven veteran that uh has been effective going down the field, being a deep threat. So if you want to keep a guy with some size, he's also a very good blocker as well. He's a better blocker than Shavers, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. There is absolutely no way. Um, there's no way I would have kept MVS and cut Shavers. There's absolutely no
Mm-hmm. I
way.
agree.
But
I mean, Shavers did everything
I
to win
would
that
make the
job.
moves.
That was frustrating to me. I mean, that's
And you know what
just.
bothered me the most?
Mm-hmm.
Mitch Trubisky was the court. He was awful all preseason.
Yeah.
Anthony Brown and Ben DiNucci came in and they outplayed him immediately. So we
Yep.
should have just signed those guys from the jump.
Yeah.
Speaking of signing guys, you know who we got now?
I think I do, but go for
Mike effing White. That's right, Jet fans. That's right, Jet. Where's June at? Somebody send June to. Somebody
it.
tell June to get in here. Tell June
You
to
know
get
what?
in the comments because we
June.
got
All
Mike
right. You
White,
know what? I'll
and it
handle that.
hurts. It hurts them so much. Oh, I've been rubbing it in Jet fans' faces for the last what 24 hours. Yeah, let them know, and they just because they deserve it. You know, the Jet fans are terrible people, and not all of them, but the majority of them. Majority of Jet fans are terrible people, and they should be all shipped off to an island,
Mhm.
preferably Long Island. That way we can quarantine them. No, but seriously, yeah, I'm sorry. I would have never kept MVS. I would have cut MVS in favor of Tyrell Shavers.
Mhm.
I thought he played well enough to earn the spot. I think he gives you that special teams, which is something that they allegedly covet, except when it comes to MVS because they kept him over a guy that could
Mhm.
help out on special teams. So you know, overall though, um, I think overall I'm happy with the roster. I'm like, it
Mhm.
is what it is. Like it.
Yep.
It all comes down to a couple of things, right? How
Mhm.
successful this team is going to be. Healthy. If we can remain healthy, this team will still be good.
Yep.
If we can um, get, if we can get a pass rush out of Von Miller, like if Von Miller can actually get close to double digit sacks, this team is going to be very good. Um, that's just the bottom line.
Mhm.
I think that the rest of the defense is going to benefit for obviously is going to benefit from the pass rush. And if they can't get anything
Mhm.
from that front four, Um, it's gonna be a tough year. It's gonna be a
Yep.
tough year for the secondary.
I agree. Another player I wanted to ask about. I was a little surprised. Were you surprised Casey Toohill made the 53 on this roster?
Absolutely.
I was a little shocked. Is this we think about Mitch Trubisky, right? You mentioned MVS and Toohill. Is this? I mean, contract. I'm just starting to believe plays a lot into this. Now I don't think Toohill got a boatload of money, but I don't
Right.
remember exactly how much he signed for. But MVS only signed for $1.5 million. But compared to the rookies, that's still a lot more money than what a Tyrell Shavers gets, or something like that. So
Right.
I just think that plays more into this than we may realize for a GM, and maybe it comes down even from ownership too. There could be like a Bagul in his ear, like, hey, I signed to Mr. Trubisky to all this money, right? I was thinking about a guy like Anthony Brown. I wish he was here from the beginning because I liked what I saw from him. It's kind of a shame he only arrived for that third preseason game. I call those the Matt Leinart specials because you remember we had Matt Leinart for like 72 hours and he played that one game for us. It's like that last preseason game. It's unfortunately for him, he unfortunately probably didn't even have a chance because those are usually just fill-in games, for quarterbacks.
Right.
But it's a shame that he didn't have
Right.
because I liked some of the skill set as a backup. I think he could have fit us pretty well, but it's
Maybe
just
they'll
the
keep
nature of
him
this
in mind
business.
next year. Maybe
Yeah,
they'll
it
keep
could
him
be.
in mind for next season. I think he'll find a spot. Injuries happen. Maybe he'll find a spot on somebody's practice squad, and get his chance with another team. But
Mm-hmm.
I did like what we saw out of him. It was
Yeah.
tough that we waited until when we waited to get him, and then
Yes.
you
Mm-hmm.
see you see what he did you know against the Panthers, and you're like, man, we should have had
Mm-hmm.
Scott the whole time. Maybe he would have done enough over the 3 games to
Mm-hmm.
really solidify himself a spot because Mitch was terrible. Um, yeah, Mitch was terrible. There's
Yep.
breaking news though. Not Bills
What do we got?
related. Wide receiver Rashee Rice's trial has been set for June of 2025. Yeah.
So not this
So
season.
they gave their yep. So he'll play the whole season, and next year he'll go to jail where he belongs. Never mind. Nah,
Well,
strike.
yeah,
Yeah, let's strike that. Let's strike that. Let's strike
it's
that from
okay.
the record.
It's all good. Well, yeah,
Let's strike
yeah.
that
Off the record. It's totally off the
off the
record.
record. Absolutely off the record.
Absolutely.
Um,
Well,
what else?
with
Oh, so go ahead.
no, no. Go ahead. No. You go ahead, Little. Go for it. My apologies.
No problem, man. Yeah. So the roster's set, and the season's like a week away or whatever. We got the Cardinals coming up. Um, everybody's doing their predictions and records and all this other stuff. And the predictions are now starting to they're starting to creep away from fantasy land and come back
Mm-hmm.
towards reality. So teams that know that they're not good are no longer saying things like, I think we're gonna win 12 games. They're saying they're being smart. They're saying 11, 10. Let's
Mm-hmm.
just get out of here with a winning season. Steeler
Mm-hmm.
fans are in shambles, um, uh, and it's
I can't
unfortunate.
blame him. I can't blame him.
Yeah, we like the Steelers though. We like the Steelers fans. Um,
Yes. Shout out to Guru.
Whatever. Shout out to Guru and
Yep.
Shala Rel, the whole
Yeah.
team over there. Shout out
Yeah.
to all of y'all. Um,
Yeah.
but there was a there was a survey that came out today about, or was it today or was it? I think it was today. Might have
I
been
think it was today.
yesterday.
Yes.
Might have, yeah, I think it was today. Um, they asked, I believe it was 100 and something NFL
I think it was.
players
Yeah. I think it was
anonymously.
103. Mm-hmm.
103, okay. 103 anonymous NFL players. Who was the most overrated player in the NFL? And these raggedy SOBs said Josh Allen. was the most overrated player in the NFL. And I find that to be absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Um, I don't know how you consider a guy overrated who has had 40 touchdowns and 4,000 yards every single year for the last 4 years. Every single year. Like there's no there's no one else. There's no one else. And largely he's done that, without like a ton of talent. And listen, we're not talking about 4,000 total yards. We're not talking about 4,000 total yards. We're talking about 4,000 passing yards only. Just
Mhm.
passing yards. I don't know how that's overrated. But
You
a
know,
lot of oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. I just think this comes back to just the expectations that a lot of the national media had for us over the last couple of years. And
Right.
unfortunately, we didn't get past the Chiefs. We lost a nail biter in 21 and 23. 22 with the Bengals, we all know what happened there. We don't need to rehash it. But I just think that's, I think you're starting to get some of that backlash because Josh gets on the cover of Madden 25, 24. He, he's in ads all over the country, et cetera, et cetera. And I think it's just
I
one of those
gotta
things
stop you.
that players look at. What's up with him?
No, no, the hate was happening before the man cover.
Oh, it
And this
was, but I
man,
think maybe it just accelerated a little bit.
yeah,
A little bit.
eh,
Yeah.
they've been hating on Josh Allen ever since the 13 seconds game. I think that was when, and I believe that I I think the Bills have been lovable losers for the NFL community, the fan community, right? So
Mhm.
it's always like, who's your greatest quarterbacks of all time? You got Joe Montana and Tom Brady, and now there's Patrick Mahomes and Lawrence Taylor is the greatest defensive player of all time, and who's the greatest running back? Is it Barry Sanders? Is it all of these different names. And you got Randy Moss and all of these guys. And Jerry Rice is the best receiver. No, it's Randy Moss. And no, it's this guy. No, it's that guy. And as constant as all of those conversations have been, the Bills have been the lovable losers. Boy, I love losing Super Bowls. Bills. Well, when Joshua Patrick Allen was drafted, they looked at that and they said, "Oh, this guy's inaccurate. He's a fun story. Big kid. He can run. He can throw the ball a mile. What's the harm? Let him go to Buffalo. He'll be fine, right?"
Mhm.
2018, they stunk. 2019, the highlights start pouring in, right? He he's hurdling people. He's stiff arming guys in the secondary, linebackers. He's making all these crazy plays, and people are like, oh, this is really cool. Like the Bills have a guy that's this is cool. The Bills look like they have a guy that's a pretty good quarterback. All right, that's fine. The Bills are a playoff team. Cool, awesome, no problem. And then 2020 came and they traded for Stephon Diggs. And they started lighting teams up. And he ends up being second in the MVP votes that year, right behind Aaron Rodgers, who had an unreal season. I think he had like 47 touchdowns and like five interceptions, like all year. So it was crazy numbers. But Josh ends up finishing second. The Bills go to the AFC Championship. They lose. 2021, the Bills kind of get off to a slow start, right? There's no pass rush. We lose to the
Mhm.
Steelers an opening week. The team looks bad, et cetera, et cetera. We had that 9-6 loss, um,
Mhm.
and it just looked like a lethargic team that kind of believing their own press clippings. And a lot of teams came out, punched us in the mouth, and we took some losses that we probably should not have taken. Um, but 2021 down that stretch when the Bills started to like really, they really looked like okay, that 2020 season was not just a flash in the pan. That's legit. The people who want the Bills to remain lovable losers understood something. The Bills are here to stay right now. Like they got a guy. And it's not just a good quarterback. Like they have an elite level quarterback. Like this guy's talent is through the roof. And what's the main ingredient in the recipe for winning a Super Bowl? You gotta have that quarterback. Now,
Mm-hmm.
there's been some anomalies, obviously. Tampa Bay won with Brad Johnson. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and and Trent Dilfer won with the Ravens. Got it. I understand. Nick Foles won with the Eagles. It happens. You know, it does happen. But the overwhelming number of Super Bowl winners come from teams who have an elite level quarterback. And the people who thought the Bills were going to remain lovable losers saw that lovable loser thing is really in jeopardy right now because Josh is the type of player that can actually get it done if he gets there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when the hate started, and the hate is going to continue until the Buffalo Bills win a Lombardi Trophy. It's just going to continue to happen.
Little, this is a weird comparison, but you know how in life sometimes people get stuck with stigmas, right? Like, you know what I mean? You're
Yes.
you're you're just a person that, oh, whatever it is. I'm not going to go into specifics for any particular reason, but maybe a group of people at school, like if a kid has something, right? Kids start pointing them out constantly, and they become that person, and that's how they're labeled, right? Labeling is a big thing in life, unfortunately. That is a good thing sometimes, and sometimes most of the time it's not a good thing usually because you don't really want to label somebody. You don't really you think you may think but you don't, right? So I think that's what it is with Buffalo. I agree with you. We're a small town. Buffalo's a snowy small town off Lake Erie. The media has become accustomed to keeping them where they are, if that makes sense, right? Like they have
Yep.
their favorites. It's like in anything else, and I do agree with you on that. I think there is some of that, and it takes a while to really break through on that, right? But I still guarantee you, if we win a Super Bowl, I really believe that's going to change a lot of people's perceptions of the Bills organization, about the history of the organization, in a lot of ways. But we're just going to have to do it. I mean, there's really no way around it. Like the accolades during the season aren't enough anymore for this particular era of Bills football. We've done that already, right? We've won the second most games in the sport since 2019. We're there. Like we don't, 11 12 wins is nice and all, but we got to knock it down in the playoffs. And until we do, this is the kind of backlash we're going to get. But Whittle,
Um.
speaking of the regular season, I did want to pay a quick bill for us, if you don't mind, before we
Okay.
go into our next thing. So, and we will segue in to us. I'm going to tell you all. Let me just get myself in order here before I speak, because you know how technology is. So, I want to talk about BetUS.com. So, listen up, sports bettors. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS, is back for our 30th year of sports action with the industry's biggest sign-up bonus, which is now up to 125%. BetUS offers the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite sports, including live action and the chance to build your own prop. Fast payouts, exceptional one-on-one customer service, they have that too. So if you go to betus.com and click the link below and use the promo code DUE, D-U-E, you'll see it scrolling here at the bottom. You'll get the best sign-up bonuses in the business. They have account managers available 24/7 to help you get started at BetUS. And Whittle, just to give you a couple things from BetUS, Josh Allen is currently at BetUS plus 800 to win the MVP, which means you put down for every 100, you win 800 plus your 100 back. So you win 900, right? For all those out there, keep it score at home. And our over under win total for the season, they have it at 10.5. So Vegas kind of thinks we're going to be in that 10 to 11 range. That's what they're putting our midpoint. So you can go over or under depending on what you want to do. So about
So
those
I'm not. I don't.
things you.
I don't know. I
I'm
don't
so-
know. Bet. I don't. I'm not a better. I don't. I don't
Mhm.
really know the lines. I don't know like
Sure.
how that world works. But tell me, if what would I need to put down on the Bills win total in order to
Well,
like?
if you went over 10 and a half wins, okay. So currently at BetUS, they have the what's called the money line. Okay. So if you
Okay.
say the Bills are going over 10 wins, you win
Mhm.
plus 145 on your bet. So if you bet 100, you win 145 profit. So you get 245 total if you cash out. So you went
Okay.
140 plus 145 on your money. So if you would now they're saying that we're going under 10 wins. Like the
Right.
the line because they have us at minus 175 under 10. So they're kind of thinking we may go 10-7. Just saying, I'm not saying they're right. I'm just telling you Vegas was very strong on us the last couple of years, especially in 2022. But now they've cooled on us a little bit. But again, they're not always the number one end all that be all in these things. And like Matt said, this is their over under on passing yards for the season, Whittle. So bet accordingly, bet responsibly. Don't be put your mortgage on that, Whittle. But you could go over 3,750 yards for the season if you believe that. So just wanted to put that out there for all of our friends out there that like to spice up the games during the NFL season, which I still cannot believe is not this weekend but next weekend. So
Yeah. See, I'm asking because I have I have like $500 coming my way after the Bills win this division.
mm-hmm.
It's not my money. It's somebody else's money that was dumb enough to bet me. So, yeah, I got some money coming in. I think I may take a preemptive bet now and just put that future money on
Mm-hmm.
this Josh Allen MVP thing
Mm-hmm.
because I think that's the way it's gonna
You could
go.
put a little
But
bit on that. You could put a little bit on the win total, and
no, sir.
our our
The whole scratch is going on the MVP.
the
The
whole
whole thing.
shebang. You're
The whole
whoa,
thing.
man. What if you cash that out? Dinner's on you when I see you in Jersey.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Absolute. Oh man, yeah. So definitely, those
You
are
know
our
how they
friends at
say
Bet
the
US.
people. You know how they say like, don't let the money change you. I'm sorry, it's absolutely going to change me. Okay, so just be prepared. If Josh
Yeah,
Allen wins the
yeah.
MVP and I don't answer,
Oh,
Drew,
there he is,
yeah,
ladies and gentlemen. June has
welcome.
arrived.
You know, I should send you a link to bring you on here. That's what I should do. Bring you up here so I can hear, so I can not only read the pain, but I also want to hear it and see the pain on you because Mike White is a Buffalo Bill. And I'm telling you, week 17, okay? Week
Mhm.
17, when Josh Allen decides to sit down, when they say, Josh, you've done enough, we're up 3 scores. It's fourth quarter. We got like 6 minutes left. And we go ahead and have a seat. I want Mike White to come in and lead that Buffalo Bills offense right down the field and score a touchdown. And I
So you
want
want ball
Keon
cap
Coleman to
Josh
do it.
and oh man, that would be amazing.
And I want Joe Andreessen to sack Aaron Rodgers. Like I
Yeah,
want him to Matt Milano Aaron Rodgers. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
Joe. Yeah, you know what I'm
yeah.
talking about. That's right. Anyway, um, speaking of Joe Andreessen, are you surprised he made the roster? Because I am not.
I'm not either. Again, he's a guy that won that job, right? Now, full disclosure, if Matt Milano's healthy, he's probably on our practice squad, right? I'm not. I don't. But that
No.
I'm not. You still think he's on the 53, even if Milano's active?
Yeah, I think he's still in the 53.
Interesting.
I think he's
Okay. Yeah.
the reason why is because I don't think that they were gonna be able to stash him. Like there was no way he was gonna make it through waivers. He was gone. He would have been gone. The Cardinals might have taken him. The Panthers might have taken him. Like there's no way he was gonna make it. No way. He's a rosterable player. because what he's going to give you in special teams. The instincts are there,
Mm-hmm.
and when attacking the run, there's no way he's gonna make it through waivers. No way. So
Yeah. I mean, just what we talked about this for the last couple of weeks, right? Some of the great stories about from July to now. I mean, this is one of the better stories I've seen in a while for the Buffalo
right,
Bills. I mean, I was hoping we had more with Tyrell Shavers and some others, but for a guy that was tailgating at a Bills tailgate near you in Orchard Park, right? Whatever lot he was in, not even thinking about playing professional football, to now
right.
next Sunday, he's coming out of that tunnel. And one of those, you remember we talked about this when we had on who's our buddy from Miami, played for the Dolphins, from Houston. He played for the Oilers. We had on the guy used to play pro ball for the Houston Oilers. Dr. Brown. We had Dr. Brown on,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
we told Dr. Brown that under 30,000 total men have ever played one snap in an NFL uniform in 100
Yeah.
years. Right. And when you think about the millions upon millions of players that have tried to do it, right? Joe Andreessen is one of those 30,000 now that's going to run out of a tunnel for the first. That's incredible. Like when you put it in that perspective, it shows you how hard it is to make this league. I can't stress that enough to our listeners. It's just so just look at our practice squad. Look at the talent. And I'm sure we're not alone with it. Look at some of the players on this roster. I mean, there's some really good players on this team, on
I
just the
think our
practice squad
practice
alone.
squad. I think our practice squad could win the XFL championship. I'm not even joking.
Yes. No, I believe it. Oh, absolutely. So, Mike White at QB leading the charge for
Tyrell Shavers,
June's
KJ
favorite.
Hamler,
Yeah. Yeah.
Frank Gore. Yeah, come on.
Uh,
They're winning it. They're gonna win it.
mm-hmm.
Eli Anku
Yeah.
at defensive tackle.
Yeah.
That group is definitely winning the XFL
Yeah.
championship.
Yeah. And
Too
there's a
much.
little bit more
It's,
on
you know.
Joe. Yeah. I mean, we may
Oh
have found the
yeah.
gem.
Third linebacker. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I really like the guy that went to the Steelers. Um, NC State kid. What's his name? Peyton Wilson. I like
Yes.
Peyton Wilson. Cedric Gray from Carolina, another one that I liked a lot. Um, there were a few more. I mean, I wasn't really checking in on linebackers too much because I knew we didn't need one, but um, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I remember that too, man. When the Jet fans was talking about Mike White.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
I was wondering. I kept asking the Jet fans today if they had any more of those Mike White T-shirts because they don't need them anymore. He plays for us,
yeah. Maybe
but
there's some extra laying around a floor in park you could swing by and pick some up, right?
right, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Um, but like we were talking about the disrespect continued today. I was in a space earlier today. I'm not going to. Actually, I am going to give them some free publicity because those are my guys. I was in the Jets commute space on Twitter
Yeah.
this morning. You can find the Jets
Mm-hmm.
commute space every morning, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday. Goes from about 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. There's
Mm-hmm.
the host is Petey Pablo,
Mm-hmm.
my guy Petey, Mark Torres, and my
Yep.
guy June.
Yep.
They have a space every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. 10 a.m. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Not 10 p.m. They're not in there that long. But they had a guest today that came out and said that the Buffalo Bills were the softest team in the NFL. That man also said that Josh Allen is not even in the same stratosphere as Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. Now, prior to him saying
I
this,
need another drink of
he
water for this.
said, prior to him saying this, because somebody said to him, what about, 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns, 4 straight years, the division, da 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 da. Now, he didn't say we were the softest. No, he said we were the softest team in the NFL, bro.
You
He
say
did. He
soft,
said
you
that.
say soft. That's end the story. That's soft. That's
But anyway, um, he said that when he said that, he contradicted himself because earlier he said, "I only care about January and February. So I don't care what these players do before that." And my question then now is, well, if you only care about January and February football, why do you have Lamar Jackson in your top 1,000? Like, he's awful in the playoffs. Lamar is awful in the playoffs. If you're just using playoff numbers, you cannot put Lamar Jackson over Josh Allen. You can't. I'm sorry. It's impossible. Uh, Josh Allen has more touchdowns in the playoffs in 2021 than Lamar Jackson has in his career. Hello? Like, is this thing on? Like, what are we watching, guys?
yeah.
This is a professional, okay? This is a professional. Ryan Fowler. What's up, bro? What NFL are you watching? Are you getting your NFL games from Tubi? Are you watching them on the Tubi network? Because they're not true. That Tubi is not giving you actual NFL games.
I love the Tubi reference. That's great.
This is like, that statement was egregious. It was disrespectful. It was abhorrent. It was vile. I, I mean, yeah, Kev, yeah. That's happening. That's for sure gonna happen. Um, I hope he doesn't chicken out because he said I'm going out of town, so I can't come to the space on Saturday or on Friday. But anyway, look,
We could open up a spot here, Whittle, if he. I mean, as
he
far
is
as I'm
definitely.
concerned,
Let me tell you something. Ain't no way he's coming up. Ain't no way he's coming up here. But I am going to try to get what's the guy named Legger Dozaball? Oh, let me listen. I watched Legger Dozaball and Danny Cannell give their AFC East predictions, right? So they go and they say that the first team they start with the Buffalo Bills, and Legger goes first and he says, the Bills, they got a lot of turnover. Yeah. That's your man's. That's your man, June. I got something for him. I already shut him up on the timeline. I already shut him up on the TL. It's been crickets ever since I posted the video of him contradicting himself. It's been crickets ever since, but it's cool. I'm gonna get to him. I'm gonna get to him mid-season. But anyway, I'm going to so he says, the Bills have had a lot of turnover. They lost so much. They lost Diggs. They lost Davis. They lost a good chunk of that defense. I don't know. This is a rebuild year for them. I think the Bills are going to take a step back. I got them finishing third. I think they're going to win under 10.5 games. I got them right now at like maybe 9 or 10 games. And I said, okay. Doesn't mention anything about offensive line. Doesn't mention anything about the linebackers and the secondary returning most of the starters from last year. Doesn't mention any of that, right? Of course, the prevailing the smoking gun for them is that the smoking gun for them is, Matt Milano got injured. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do without Matt Milano? We didn't have Matt Milano last year and still put out a top 10 defense. Like, what are y'all watching?
Mhm.
Did y'all not see Sean McDermott work his magic last year with less talent on that defensive side of the football? What are we talking about? So he gives his prediction. Danny Cannell basically same thing. You know, they lost a lot. He actually does have us winning 10 games and making the playoffs, but yeah, please post Kevin. Yeah, exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. Come on, and Kevin, we can go back even further. 2017, the Buffalo Bills made the playoffs with Tyrod Taylor and Charles Clay. Come on, like, come on, guys. Josh Allen lost Stephon Diggs, and now he can't play football anymore. What do you? Like, is everybody okay? Do we need to send out some help? Is there a fentanyl overdose spreading all over this NFL community? Because
Mhm.
you guys are talking like you're high. Like this is crazy talk.
Yep. And that
Eight defensive
2019
starters
team.
returning.
Yep.
Offensive starters returning as well. Exactly. But in
Yep.
addition to those starters returning, right? In addition, we got faster.
Mhm.
We actually got faster. And on the defensive side of the football, AJ Epinesa was here last year. He wasn't a starter, but he was here last year. 6.5 sacks off 36% of the defensive snaps. 6.5 sacks off 36% of the defensive snaps available last year. So he's probably going to see closer to 60% of the snaps now. What are we doing now?
Mhm. Yep. Little that 2019 team. Star Latulier, Trent Murphy, Julian Stanford, Levi Wallace, Quentin Spain,
Jesus.
Mitch Morse, Cody Ford,
Oh.
Tyler Croft was one of our starting tight ends. I'm not listening. Some of these guys aren't terrible players, but think
And
about
see,
what
that's
we
the
said.
problem.
Hmm.
That's the problem. That's what makes me mad. Is that the information is right there at the push of your fingertips. Everybody has
Yep.
one of these, guys. It's a smartphone. Everybody has one.
Yep.
Why don't y'all use
Hmm.
it to be smart? Why? It's
Yeah.
right there. I can go watch these videos with these professional commentators, and
Hmm.
everybody has their phone. The phones are there. You have your phone. Why don't you use it?
Yep. I know
Why don't you
it's
use it?
it.
Why don't you? Why do you just talk and not use the phone?
Took me 60 seconds to find that one. Just and I'm no genius with this,
60
so
seconds.
yeah.
But
Hmm.
here's the best part, right? Here's the best part of the segment. So then they say, "All right, we get to the Bills, and we're finished with the Bills now. Let's move over to the Miami Dolphins." And they just start gushing. Oh, listen, me and me and LD went down to the Dolphins training camp, and oh, they're so locked in. You know, they got a brand new team, and they got all of these new guys, and sometimes you just need to get some new blood in there and change the trajectory of your franchise. What? Wait. So when it was the Bills, the turnover was a problem, and we're going to step back because we have so much turnover. But now 60% of the and these aren't my numbers. This is what
Hmm.
LD said. 60% of the Dolphins roster this year is new from last year. So
Wow.
yes, we did lose Stephon Diggs. That's a huge loss. Nobody's denying
Yes.
that.
Hmm.
Huge loss. Robert Hunt, he's gone. Christian Wilkins, he's gone. Uh, X, he's gone. Deshaun Elliott, he's gone. You replace Deshaun Elliott with Jordan Poyer. Now, Jordan Poyer, don't get me wrong, Pro Bowl, All Pro, definitely he's going to go down as one of the best safeties in Buffalo Bills history. 100%.
Agree. 100%. Love J-Po.
He ain't the All Pro he was.
Hmm.
He's not that now. The linebackers, they got some new guys. I think they're solid. But you also lost Andrew Van Ginkel, who was arguably your best pass rusher down the stretch. Chubb is out. He's not going to be back for a while. He starts out the season on the pup. Um, and Jalen Phillips is coming off of, what do you have, an ACL? I think he tore his ACL. He's coming off of a
Hmm.
major injury. So what are we talking, like? How is it
Yep.
the Dolphins are going to then? How is it the Dolphins have all this turnover and they're supposed to be a better team because of it, but the Bills have the turnover, and you saw the byproduct of the turnover last year because we didn't have a ton of the guys that are not here. Like, some of the guys that are not here now are guys that we were missing last year.
Hmm.
But you saw the team still work. The offensive
Yep.
line's still good. James Cook's still here. Josh is here. Khalil Shakir's still here. The tight ends are here. And actually, the tight end's healthy. Dawson
Yep.
Knox is coming in healthy.
Yep. You
We
know.
upgraded running back too. The offensive
Hmm.
line is still absolutely amazing. We got bigger, stronger, and faster at wide receiver. At
Yep.
at every, like, what are we talking about? If you want to go man to man, we're gonna put Shakir on the field. We're gonna put Samuel on the field. We're gonna put MVS on the field if you want to go man to man. Good luck. Oh, you want to play
Hmm.
zone now? Okay, fine. We're just going to get the bigger guys that know how to find spots in the zone and sit down and catch the football. Is Josh not able to deliver the football because Stephon
Hmm.
Diggs is not there?
Yep. I mean,
It
listen,
makes
what
no
we've
sense.
what we've talked about a lot. We know the loss of Stephon Diggs is a big loss, right? I don't care what any rational Bills fan cannot deny what he's done, what he did for the Bills for 4 years, right?
Facts.
But like you said, we have receivers that can separate, right? We have two tight ends that could really be so promising, on the outside. Right? I mean, we can line up Kincaid as another wide receiver. Remember what we said the theme is this year? The
Oh,
whole is
okay.
greater than the sum of its parts, Whittle. That is the
Yes.
season. We have 10 of our 53 are rookies, by the way, but only one is starting, and it's Keon Coleman. The other ones are backups, and maybe Cedric Van Granger moves in and supplements
Are we
McGovern.
sure?
Maybe not right away, but
No,
eventually
are
he
we sure
could.
that Keon starts?
Well, I would think is he. No, that's up to for debate too. I mean, I'm going to assume he's
I
going to
don't
be
think he
starting, but
starts.
maybe
I don't
by
think he
middle of the
starts. I
season.
think Mac Hollins starts.
Yep.
But see, you see what Kevin put up here, right? You see what Kevin put, right?
Hmm.
Look at this offensive line. What are they doing?
Yeah. Hmm.
What are they doing? Like, they couldn't stop. They couldn't stop us last year. They couldn't protect to it last year with a better offensive line than what they have now. Connor Williams was there. Um,
Hmm.
Robert Hunt was there. Like, they couldn't protect them last year. What are they
Hmm.
going to do now? Yes, Williams and Wynn gone. Right. Exactly.
Yep.
LD had those has those guys going 8-0 in the first 8 games of the season. Miami. He has them sweeping Buffalo. It's crazy. Crazy talk. June, you cannot call MVS a bum when you employ Alan Lazard. Okay? You can't do it. You paid Alan Lazard $30,000 per catch last year. Like, bro, I'm
Oh, that's not a
sorry.
good
Like,
return on investment. No.
it's not. No. You gave that man $3 million to catch 30 balls. Okay? Ridiculous.
Mhm.
And you don't have a tight end, so I mean, and you can't cover tight. The Jets can't cover tight ends. The Jets did make a good move though. They got grabbed Lewis Seen off the waivers, the Georgia product, the safety. That was a good move for them. Oh, we lost Beyond. He's back. Yeah, Lazard is horrible. You're right, he is. Lazard is absolutely
Yeah, I mean,
horrible. So
the
watch
whole
your mouth
thing,
talking about
June was,
MVS.
yep. I mean, June's talking about weapons, weapons, weapons. What do you think the percentage is that the quarterback makes the weapons versus the weapons make the quarterback?
I mean,
Is it 70-30? Is it, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Like,
Puka Nacua was a
we
5th
made
round
John
pick.
Brown. Yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
look who Puka plays with. Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay,
Yep.
one of the best offensive
Yep.
minds in the league. Hinigo has one of the best offensive minds ever if he keeps up this rate, right? So
Right.
that, again, not taking anything away from Puka Nacua. He's a heck of a talent. He's a heck of a receiver. But how much is that? And why can't we do that again? We brought in John Brown before in 2019. Cole Beasley wasn't an 82 catch machine with Dallas. He was solid. Was he considered that Cole Beasley before he came to Buffalo in 2019? No. So why can't Khalil Shakir be that guy this year, which I believe he will be? I'm going to stamp this. 70 plus catches, lock it in. Khalil Shakir will have over 70 catches.
Shakir, yeah. Oh.
Yes, he will have over 70 catches. Not that I'm making some massive statement. So.
Right. No, you cooking with gas for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the other thing is about the Dolphins. I mean, listen, the Dolphins had a good year last year, but again, we can't look past the fact they beat one team with a winning record last year, and it was against the Cowboys, but the Cowboys should have won that game anyway. If they didn't mess up at the goal line, they would have won that game. Miami had a lot of quote sexy stats. I mean, they had some explosive. They have explosive players. I mean, don't get me wrong. They have a good roster. They're not a terrible team or anything, but I don't understand why, if you really look deep, right? By the way, Whittle, guess what quarterback had the best QBR against winning teams last season?
Let
me think about that.
That would be number 17.
Yeah, it'll be number 17 at home, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. The most overrated player in the league. Whittle, about that statement, I love that happened, actually. I think that's the best news the Bills could have had all season. He posted on Twitter today. You think Josh was posted about being the trash talker? Oh, no, that's not why he posted that. He posted that because of
everybody know. I saw what you said. And I know it was the NFC West team that said that came out and said it's the turnovers. So expect him to go absolutely bonkers against the NFC West teams. Because we don't know who it was. We don't know what team it was from either. We just know it was an NFC West team. So all of y'all gonna get it.
Yep. I mean, he's going to be playing with a heavy heart next weekend already. He lost his grandfather this week. Right. Remember when he lost his grandmother against Seattle in 2020? You saw how he cooked after that, right? So Josh is already feeling that. Now this is going to fuel him. Trust me. You know that guys like him, Mahomes, Allen, the greats, they feed off that. They absolutely feed off it. It's like,
just give me a reason to want to take your hat off, and I'm gonna
give me a reason.
Yeah,
absolutely,
I love it.
Absolutely, I love it too.
There's one more thing I wanted to get into.
Whittle, do you mind if I pay one more bill before we get into that one little thing?
That's a good.
I'm sorry to
allow me to. June has the Dolphins sweeping us. What?
What? Wait. Can we screenshot that, please?
God. June.
Oh man, June.
Oh my gosh! Look, everybody. Yeah, no, we have. I'm gonna put it on the screen because I don't want to lose this because this is all recorded live. Like, dude, are you okay? Are you a little too much tonight? Okay, put it down. You've had enough.
Well,
okay?
You know what, Whittle? I have something that might give June some serenity, right? Something that one of our friends, maybe, June's a little hyped for the Jets. You get a little stressed, right? He's thinking 12, 13 wins, Aaron Rodgers coming out of his whatever retreat, the darkness retreat that he's in the summer. But I have a sponsor that can give him some clarity. And yes, it's AmericanBuddha.com. AmericanBuddha.com launched in spring of 2017. It's a lifestyle and travel media brand focused on making happiness a habit. In the turbulent and ever-changing world we live in today, there's not enough regular reminders to simply be happy, just as Buddha taught us several millennia ago. Go to AmericanBuddhaCo.com to learn more. You can follow them on Instagram and you can DM them for orders. They have some really cool gear over there. They're based in NYC. Me, you, and June are all from that area, so we love that. So just give our friends a look over there and give a look and sponsor a company that we love. So again, AmericanBuddhaCo.com. Will,
June, you're
the
bugging,
floor is
bro.
yours.
June, you are bugging. The Dolphins are gonna sweep us. Who do you think we are? The Jets? You know where we at, bro? Crazy. Anyway, yeah, that was wild. Uh, so I, I know that Josh saw it. I know that he's gonna tell the team. Um, but I want to give some credit to a couple of the teams on our schedule because yes, we are. I do think we're gonna. I think the Bills are gonna end up 12-5. I think that
Mhm.
the way to get to 12-5 is to win the division road games. We cannot we cannot split. I don't think we can split and still get to 12-5. I think we need to beat the Jets in their building. We need to beat Miami in their building. Um, because we don't lose in our building, but we need to
Mhm.
win those road games. If we
Yep.
can get to 6, if we can sweep the division, which I don't think it's going to be easy. I do think
No.
that Jets game will be difficult, 100%.
Yes, I
The
agree.
Jets game will be difficult. You don't know how injuries will play out. I think we have some things working in our favor. Um, with that Jets game, though, they're coming back from London. Um, you know what that was like for us. That week 5 game was rough. It was rough when we were there, and then I think the following week we played the Giants, I believe,
We did on Sunday night. Yep, we did.
and that game we looked like a team who just got off a plane. We did. We
Hmm.
definitely looked bad that game as well. Um,
Yep.
so week 1 Cardinals at home. Cardinals really don't have a line. We should win that game. Week 2 against the Dolphins, they have no interior offensive line. They have, a skeleton crew on the defensive line. I think we should be able to dominate the line of scrimmage and win that game. Week 3 in Buffalo against Jacksonville, I do worry about that game. That is
I
one of the
agree.
games that I worry about. So I am going to leave that as a win because it's at home. I don't think we've played them in our building in a very long time. So getting them in our building,
Hmm.
I think that's a prime time game as well.
It's a
It's a
Monday
Monday
night.
night.
Hmm.
Monday
I
night.
think it's
Okay,
a
so
Monday.
it's a
I'm
Monday
pretty
night
sure.
game.
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah. Josh is a beast in prime time games.
Hmm.
Let's see. Uh week 4 against the Ravens. I know a lot of people love the Ravens, and you think because they have Lamar Jackson and Roquan Smith that they're untouchable, but they're very touchable, and the Bills are going to touch them in week 4. I got us starting the season 4-0. Week 5,
Wow,
I
that would be
do have
great.
us losing to the Texans on the road,
Hmm.
unfortunately. I just
Yep.
think that I think there's a lot of factors there. I think their weapons are absolutely amazing. Their offensive line, as right now, is very healthy. Um, I don't worry as much about their defense as most teams. I think our tackles are good. Like I think our tackles are solid, right? I do kind of worry about Spencer Brown having a rough time though.
I do.
Spencer Brown, that's a 1 o'clock game in Houston. That crowd's gonna be going crazy. It's gonna be hot. Um, I do worry about Spencer Brown in that game. And then I do think that they do have some really good players on that defense that could cause some issues. Like Jalen Petry's there. He's a dog. Obviously, Stingley at corner. And they're a solid team, 100%. Solid defense. Amazing offense. So and I think Slo's a very good coach as well. That's gonna be a test because they can beat man, they can beat zone. We're predominantly a zone team. It's gonna be interesting to see how we play. And Stephon Diggs, that's early in the season. Diggs is gonna be up for that game for sure. He's gonna want to destroy it. So yeah, like I got us taking the L in that game. Week 6, Jets coming back off of the London trip. I think the Bills team is going to be extra motivated to rectify the wrong of last year opening game. I think we take that one. Week 7. That is. I probably should have pulled this up, right?
I have it right here
Let me
for
do
you.
it
What do
right
we
now.
are? Week 7 at home against Tennessee.
I like Tennessee a lot. Like I
Mm-hmm.
think Tennessee has a really good roster. They worry me. That is a
Mm-hmm.
game that worries me. Um, I'm not in love with the linebackers. I'm not in love with uh the edge. I'm not in love with the secondary. But I don't know, bro. Jeffrey Simmons and Tavondre Sweat in the middle, that means something. Um, that could be an issue. I do think they have really good weapons. I think Will Levis is a baller. I like him a lot. But I'm gonna give the Bills that one. Um, I think the Bills take that one. On the road to Seattle, that's a tough game. I'm gonna give us the loss. I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
November 3rd, Miami Dolphins. Come on, guys. The Colts. I mean, we don't even need to spend time. Like in our building, the Dolphins 1 o'clock. It's a smoke show, bro. Like it's it. Listen, that's a snooze fest by 3 o'clock. It's over. Um, the Colts. I don't know what to think about the Colts yet because I got to see Anthony Richardson in action for
I
more than
agree.
just a couple of quarters. I don't know. If he's good, that could be a loss. If he's not good, then we're gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not good, then we're gonna win. The Chiefs in our building, we lost to them. We don't lose back to back. We're gonna take them out. Last time we played them, they beat us. We're gonna get our revenge. After the bye week, we don't lose. We're beating the
Niners.
49ers. Yeah.
Okay.
I have us going to the Rams and winning that game.
Oh,
The
good. I'm glad
reason
because I'm
why
buying tickets for that. So I'm glad we're going to win.
the reason why I have us winning that game is because I think that defense is extremely young. Now, mind you, they
Mm-hmm.
will have a bunch of weeks prior to get ready. That's a December game, so they will have a
Mm-hmm.
chance to get ready and get acclimated or whatever. But I don't. I mean, they don't really have a burner. Like, I mean, Tutu Atwell, I guess, but
Mm-hmm.
just I like our secondary versus the route runners that they have. Like, I mean, they're gonna catch the football for sure. They're gonna
Mm-hmm.
catch the football, and they'll put up some numbers. But ultimately, I think the Bills. I think the Bills defense versus the Rams offense is a way better matchup than the Bills offense versus the Rams defense. I think the Bills offense is not a good matchup for that Rams defense. And I think our defense will do enough against the Rams offense to give us that win. Detroit. I want to give us that one, but I think we take the loss there. And I think we win the last 3 games. I just can't see the Jets beating us, man. Maybe the Patriots get us in the last game. Maybe
I like
it's
getting them
already locked
late.
up, but I don't even know how many that is either. Like that might be like 13 wins. I mean, it might be like
Yeah, I think it
13 wins.
is.
But
You know what I think the key to our season is the home games, right? We have let's be honest, our road schedule is pretty tough, right? At Detroit, right? At Jets on Monday night, that's not going to be easy. At the Rams, I mean, we have some tough road
at
games, and we got some
Seattle's tough.
tricky. At Seattle's tough. That's a tough way to. It's a tough travel. Well, the week before we play
Yep.
Sunday, so it's a Sunday to Sunday, but that's always going out west is a little tricky. At Indianapolis, like you said, that could be tricky. They got a nice roster there. At Houston's going to be an emotionally charged game. Say what you want about Baltimore, that's still a tough game. It's a Sunday night game too to boot, so it's going to be heated. And Jackson, but I think those home games, Jacksonville Monday night is big to me. Getting off on the right foot week 1 is big. Just give me 7-1 at home minimum, and even if we went 4-5 on the road, we're still an 11-win team, Whittle. Right? So if we take care of business at home, even with that, and I think we could go 5-4 on the road. So if we do that, we're a 12-win team, and there you go. So we may slip up once at home.
Though.
Kind of, but our winning percentage at home is the best of this decade, though, Whittle. No team's better than us than home than the Bills. Like it doesn't feel like it because I think of remember the games we had last year, the Giants, the Broncos. We had some of those weird games, and I think that's why we feel they weren't very good against New England at home at the end of the year last year. I think that's why we're feeling this way. I think, but our winning percentage is well over 80% at home. I think this decade it's tremendous. So I think if we just take care of business at home, and considering that we have one more road game than home game, I think it's imperative we, Highmark's got to be rocking all year, man. We got to get we got to stack up the dubs at home, and I think we'll be just fine. En route to our 5th consecutive. When?
The moment Joe Andreessen runs out of that tunnel.
Oh yeah. Lancaster, New York kid.
44 runs out. Like when we open up the game against the Cardinals, I want Joe Andreessen running out with the flag.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I want him he needs to be the first one out of the tunnel. Bro, he grew up rooting for this team. Like two years ago, he was probably sitting in some parking lot, getting ready to go to a game. Just knowing he plays college football, but you don't whatever. Like I'm gonna go to the Bills game, and he's not thinking about. He's not thinking he has a chance to go pro at Bryant College. He's not thinking that.
Definitely not.
Even at UB, he's not thinking that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what though, first, UB is not Penn State or USC or anything like that.
Right.
They've put out some NFL talent over the last really since Khalil Mack, right? I mean,
yep.
I saw a list recently, and it's about a dozen players. I'm like, that's pretty impressive for a school like UB. I have to say, again, even if they're just playing a year or two.
On our roster.
Yeah. Yep. So
3 of them.
It's an exciting time, Whittle.
Absolutely.
We are next week. We'll be previewing week 1 of the 2024 NFL season. Got Labor Day this weekend to recharge a little bit, right? Get a little rest, maybe watch a little college ball. You do need it, Whittle. So you've earned it. So make sure you take some time off. We'll get you recharged next week. And we'll start going into the Arizona Cardinals. Taking a deep dive on Arizona. See what's going on out there in the desert.
I know what's going on. No trenches. They got no pass rush.
We're gonna have to exploit that. So it's probably a good game for this offense.
Line better do its thing. Yeah, that offensive line better dominate against the Cardinals, man.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Josh should be able to pull a lawn chair out. Like we better not give up a single sack that game.
Mm-hmm.
Not one.
Yeah.
Not one.
Fairly clean pocket. Yeah, we got to keep it clean. We got to keep it clean.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, man. Let's put a bow on this thing.
Another one in the books, Whittle.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Next week, we're going to
Great.
try to get some guests on, man.
Yep.
Do something next week. Get a couple people on. Maybe we'll get some AFC East people on here and hear some
Yeah. We
delusional
do a little round
adversaries.
table. A little AFC's
Yeah.
round table next week. Get some predictions. Predictions sure to go wrong. Use it against them in February. Those kind of things.
February, please.
December.
The jet season will be over before we're carving turkeys. So
Oh man. It is football time, ladies and gentlemen, and we can't wait here. And everyone out there, just remember, please give Do Champions a follow. Here it is again for anybody at home. Give us a follow on X, on YouTube. Like and subscribe to our podcast. We love that. We really appreciate if you do. We appreciate all the love and support in our chat. Mark from Buffalo. Let's go, Buffalo. Thank you, Matt, for a great show. Thank you. We appreciate you and everything you're doing with us at Do. And the best is yet to come for Do. So definitely get at us. I mean, there's some great shows beyond us too. So we look forward to another week next week. So that's all I had, Whittle.
that's it, man. Thank you guys for coming. And we're out of here.
Go Bills.